Hello. Hi, everybody. Oh, it works good.
You introduce yourself? Or?
I am Joshua Bell. Hey. I'm really impressed by what you've got going on here. Amazing that you have this at a school that's so dedicated to the arts. It's you guys are lucky, very lucky. I was lucky. Some of you will go there. Any of you thought about going there for music school? Yeah? Oh, excellent. Go IU. That's good. It's I grew up around the campus there. I started because we did not have such a great program in our public schools going by then. I've actually been performing professionally since I was 14. So I got my first break sort of when I was 14 with. This is the best job in the world. I get to travel around the world and play music, and it's my job. So I feel very lucky. I get to go home on Sunday and watch football on Sunday all day long. How many of you are violinists here? A lot of violinists. Wow. Pianists? How about both violin and piano? I think that's one of my big regrets is that I didn't play enough piano. How many of you are already thinking that you might want to be a musician as a profession when you're out? And yeah, that's great. I love it. I happen to love puzzles, and I love that's sort of the left brain stuff, like figuring out puzzles, doing math, things like that. Music is so rewarding in that way, trying to figure out how the pieces work together and the harmonies and all that stuff. For me, music is like a religion. So spiritually, those goosebumps you get when you listen to music, something really great is happening. That's like a religious experience, and it's incredibly rewarding. Do some new music. I'm very careful about new music because I like music that sounds good. So I love being involved in new music. Even some crossover things with my last album, one of my last albums, At Home with Friends, involved Sting and Regina Spektor and Josh Groban and Anushka Shankar, the sitarist, the Indian sitarist, and various Chris Bodie, the trumpet player. So I like doing all kinds of other things as well. Because I had a lot of other interests. I was into sports and a lot of things, and I just didn't always have 4 or 5 hours to practice. So I became actually good at learning how to practice quickly. So learning how to make the most of my time, and that's really as important as the amount of hours you put in. Is like being efficient. Eating is a big part of being a musician. Finding restaurants, and it's usually most musicians I know. Eating is a passion. For me, it's more than just eating. It's like it's one of the hobbies on the road. Is finding great restaurants. I don't know, what am I supposed to, Skyline Chili? Is that what I'm supposed to have here? So that's kind of the routine, and then, tomorrow we do it again. Sometimes I wonder, what my life would have been like if I had done something else, I love science, I love physics, I love psychology, I love a lot of things, advertising. I enjoy writing slogans. I keep track of little slogans I come up with all the time. Like I think if I just, maybe it's from watching Mad Men, but there are a lot of things. You only have one life to live, so you got to find the right path, or find a path. Sometimes I wonder, but it's never been really an option to quit and try something else yet. These like light bulbs. You ever had that where you just suddenly everything clicks? It's like, oh my God, I can suddenly play better than I did this morning, or figured out up staccato, which I still have not figured out yet. But I keep waiting for that light bulb to go. But actually, I saw a really corny thing on Facebook. So that people put those little things, but it's kind of true. But something about shooting an arrow. For every arrow that shoots forward, you have to pull back. Before to go forward. Corny, but it is true. It is true. The analogy is that for every jump forward and progress, sometimes you have to go back a little bit first before you go forward. So, yeah, I have those moments. Saying, what is he doing Dancing with the Stars? Do we really need this kind of thing? And the way I see it is that if Dancing with the Stars is still willing to have a classical artists on their show, we should snap up the opportunities to keep it in the mainstream, because otherwise, if we all say no to that sort of thing, then they'll just only have the pop people and the pseudo-classical rock. My violin was made in 1713, so next year is the 300-year birthday. This from like 1700 to 1720. They're known for their projection, the balance between the brightness and the rich lower end. The violin itself is an incredible design. It's evolved. It's like a perfect animal that's evolved for its environment. The violin, the way the shape of the F holes, the way the bridge is cut out, everything is designed for a specific reason, and they have not improved on it in 300-400 years. So this incredible work of art made by the greatest master that ever lived, it's inspiring, you know. And then I pick out my bow and get to play the music that really was written by the handful of the greatest, I think, the greatest thinkers that I've ever lived: Beethoven, Bach, you know, Brahms, and others that don't even start with B. These are the greatest minds, you know. So to get exposed to that with this, and I mean, that's so inspiring. So there should be no lack of inspiration, you know, in this business. The journalist wondered what it would be like if I played with my Stradivarius serious music in the sort of metro station, without sort of incognito, without people expecting to, you know, anything. And it's nothing to do with whether I would get recognized, but would people listen? How would it, you know, out of context, so that. Nervous getting up, taking out my violin case and suddenly playing with people rushing by during rush hour, and not a good feeling when you're playing and people are not paying attention and they're walking by, and I much prefer a captive audience. It made me appreciate the atmosphere that happens when in a real concert, and it made me also realize that one of the key ingredients for music to work is to have an audience that's completely focused and listening. That's the thing about classical music in particular, and jazz, and other kinds of music that are very, I would call serious music. Sorry, that sounds snobby, but music that involves real listening to process. People got a lot of the wrong things out of this. I think sometimes people took the wrong conclusions out of this experiment. Some people said, well, it just goes to show that if it's not hyped, then people won't know that it's good, you know, that it's only because if you're hyped and told, if they're told that this person is good, then they'll listen and think it's good. I don't think that has anything to do with it. It has to do with being focused and having an open mind as an audience member and really focusing, and that's not going to happen during rush hour, you know. What I liked about the experiment is that it just made people talk about music and the importance of music and the context of it and all that, and so it was kind of fun.